SEGA might have made a huge mistake with Sonic Superstars, and we're definitely going to get into it here. Now, I've been playing Sonic Superstars, and I think that it's a solid game. They've done a lot of things to make it very fun. For example, the new powers, although somewhat worthless, can be cool to execute. I love the feel of the game. The physics, the running, the level design feel just right in most cases. Now, there are some levels that feel a bit wonky or kind of weird, and yes, the boss battles, like said in the reviews, aren't the best, although I haven't experienced all of them. There are definitely some issues, but overall, I think that it's a good step. It's a step in the right direction to bring back 2D Sonic in a modern way without using the classic retro formula in terms of what they've done before and the graphics like Sonic Mania, Sonic Origins, and all of that. Now, to give you guys a little bit of background information if you're watching me for the first time, I am not a Sonic hater overall or anything. I grew up playing Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, which Sonic and Knuckles is my favorite Sonic game of all time. So I think that there is a lot of awesome and good things about the Sonic franchise, specifically with the 2D Sonic games. But there are a few things here and there which you guys are seeing for yourselves if you've already played the game or if you've watched some of the reviews, but that's not exactly the main issue with Sonic Superstars. And once again, we are going to get right into that, what I feel about it, how SEGA made a huge mistake here. I'm thinking it could be, but before we do, what's good everyone, OJ here, welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more first. Now let's go ahead and jump right back into this with Sonic Superstars, because Sonic Superstars launched recently, but the biggest problem that I'm seeing is that it's launching in the same week as Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, I think that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 isn't as bad of a thing just because it's a very different type of game, but with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, I think considering the review scores, there's absolutely an issue that they're going to run into when it comes to maximizing what this game could have done. Now, the review scores for Sonic Superstars are not terrible. At a mid-70s-ish review score, which is not bad. Now, I did expect it to be higher than that. Based off of what they showed, it definitely looked better. Now, the multiplayer battle mode, obviously not as great as maybe people would have liked. There's some fun to be had, but it's not that great. The multiplayer in-game is a hit or miss based off of what I've seen. I haven't been able to experience it too much myself, but from what I've seen, it's a hit or miss in terms of how the camera works, how the co-op works, and just how everything is structured and put together. Just not quite as good as maybe some would have liked it. Some people really like the co-op in the game. But I think that when you have an iffy type of game like this and a track record that Sonic has, unfortunately, sometimes you get the short end of the stick. And I think that with Sonic, despite its dedicated fan base of loyal fans that are going to go out there and pick up this game for $60, launching it next to a game like Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Spider-Man in terms of the quality of those games might hinder the potential that this game has. And as an executive, if you're at SEGA and you're in charge of the Sonic brand, it's up to you to make sure that you optimize everything that your developers took a long time to make. It's not like this is some type of cash grab, phone it in 2D Sonic game. There are major new ideas. There are incredible graphics. There is great optimization across the board. The game looks and runs great on the Nintendo Switch and on other platforms. It is a phenomenal experience overall in terms of the vision of what the developers were trying to do, but that could be squandered if the people, the suits, don't put it in the best opportunity to do well. So overall, while the game isn't incredible, which once again, that could be development, that could be the management, that could be the time that they got, whatever the case is, either way, it's still a good or solid game that has a history. Sonic is very, very popular and has a history, and you need to make sure that you maximize the potential that that game can have to do well on the market. I personally feel with a game like Sonic Superstars, you don't launch it in the same week as Super Mario Bros. Wonder that's reviewing incredible and looking great great based off of what everyone is saying. You put that game out in the summertime when there's a bit of a lull. And yes, I get it. I understand. Sometimes you have to work on the game all the way up to some point. Sometimes you can't always control exactly what's happening on the development end. But from what I have seen, it does seem like they absolutely could have moved this game out of the October window and avoid Super Mario Bros. Wonder, avoid Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and put it more in a summer type of window. Put it in a September or an August type of thing. Give it some space. Give it some space to really flourish and get everyone excited to play Sonic. I think that this is a perfect summer game. The themes, the look, everything that I've seen and that I've played from Sonic Superstars just screams summer to me. So I think that that is management. Now we have to wait and see, right? We don't know the sales numbers. Obviously the game just recently came out, and I'm guessing that Sonic Superstars is still going to sell a lot of copies. But I think that overall, I think that you're limiting what this game could do by releasing it in the same week. Now Nintendo spoke about this because this is not something that people are just talking about on Twitter. It actually made it all the way up to Nintendo and of course the executives at both companies. But I know what Nintendo said about it, and they said, oh well, it's a coincidence and it's great to have two historic platformers launching at the same time. And look, we know this, Nintendo makes money off of Sonic Superstars as well, so they don't have any reason for it to do bad, right? They want it to do good, but they also want Super Mario Bros. Wonder to do incredible. This is a franchise, when it comes to 2D Mario, that can sell upwards of 30 million units, 30 million units. We've seen it with the new Super Mario Bros. Series, and honestly, that series is nowhere near as ambitious and as crazy and as dope as what we're seeing with Super Mario Bros. Wonder from my playthroughs and from the reviews out there. So to me, at least in my opinion overall, I think that you do anything that you can to remove yourself from a potential genre-defining 2D platformer on the Nintendo Switch, like Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and you put it more in a manageable situation, not next to something else where it's going to be compared and contrasted. Now listen guys, Sonic Superstars is still a game worth playing. It's still a game that can hold its own. I'm just not sure if this was the right time to get it done. Now when it comes to the sales of the game, Sonic Superstars is probably going to do best or do incredibly well on a Nintendo platform, the Nintendo Switch. But the next best platform that it would do well based off of history would be PlayStation. And unfortunately, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is coming out, and yes, very different types of games, but everybody's focused on that game and that incredible review Metacritic that it has. To me, people are looking at that and saying, okay, that's worth $70. This is $10 less. Like, which one am I going to get? And of course, there's going to be some people that aren't interested in Marvel's Spider-Man at all. It's a very different type of game compared to Sonic. And obviously, you have the PlayStation 4 version of Sonic Superstars, whereas Marvel's Spider-Man is only on the PlayStation 5. But I still think that the mind share in terms of what people are looking at are focused on Mario and Spider-Man. And Sonic could be a little bit of the afterthought here, especially considering that Metacritic score combined with some of the things that people are saying about this, how it's not as good as Sonic Mania. It's not as good as Sonic Origins and those games in there. And this is a newer game compared to what people are saying about some of the other games that are coming out in October. People are saying that Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the best 2D Mario game since like Yoshi's Island or since Super Mario World. Some people are really saying that. With Marvel's Spider-Man 2, people are saying this is the best superhero game since Batman Arkham and the best Spider-Man game ever released. So when you're looking at it and when you're comparing it to those, it definitely doesn't look like a good idea to put it out in the same week as those games. But let's look at the positive side here, guys. The positives are this. This game, Sonic Superstars, despite it being $60, I think that they're going to be profitable with the game. I don't think that the development budget and cost of this game tends for the game to have to sell 7 million copies or some type of crazy amount on the first day. So that's not really that big of a concern. I think that as you get towards Black Friday, the holiday shopping season, children get to pick and put what they want on their Christmas list or more. I think Sonic Superstars is going to be become a game that does incredibly well or even better because of the price drop. Sonic is a game that not everybody rushes out there and buys day one, but once those price drop hits, that's when the games do really well. Sonic Frontiers is a game that did okay at the beginning, but once those deals started kicking in, people really started buying Sonic Frontiers quite a bit. And we do know that Sonic Superstars seems to have leaked some extra content, so there'll be some stuff to keep the game in the limelight, keep people looking at it, potentially picking it up, especially if they have free DLC. So to me, it's not a doom and gloom situation where, oh my gosh, Sonic Superstars is going to get blown out, it's a terrible game, or anything like that. No, it's nothing along that. I think that the game is going to do really well after some discounts, after some things, because some people are saying, I don't think it's worth that 60, especially compared to what's coming out. So I do feel that there is a little bit of a disconnect there. And you also have to look at it like this. This game, Sonic Superstars, is on all the platforms, and you're comparing it to two other games that are exclusive to those platforms. So to me, there is some wiggle room for people that maybe don't have a Switch or don't have a PlayStation 5 and they want something to play here. Sonic Superstars could be that game. So it's not all negativity, and it's not all like, oh my gosh, this is 100% going to happen or anything like that. There is room and there is a way for Sonic Superstars to do well. I just think it's not being maximized. And when you're Sega, you have to try to maximize what your game can do after years of development. But we're gonna have to wait and see exactly how all of this plays out. I'm excited to continue playing Sonic Superstars, and I'll make sure to do a full impressions and review once I'm done with the game. But what are your thoughts on Sonic Superstars and what Sega has done here? Do you feel that it was a big mistake or a problem or a blunder to put the game in the same week as Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Marvel's Spider-Man? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more right here on screen, like my top 25 Nintendo Switch first-party games and my review roundup for Sonic Superstars. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one.